Sometimes the biggest revolutions in our understanding come from the smallest things. I mean, what if I told you that our entire story of human history, the one we've told for generations, was completely turned on its head by a discovery so tiny you could have literally just walked right past it?
Well, that is pretty much exactly what happened. Today, we're going to explore how one tiny fragment of bone, found buried in the dirt of a remote cave, revealed a literal ghost hiding in our own DNA.
All right, so let's set the scene. The year is 2008. We're deep inside the Denisova Cave in Siberia. A team of archaeologists is at work, probably thinking it's just another day at the office. But they were about to make a find that would shake the very foundations of human evolution.
So what did they find? A tiny piece of a finger bone, from the pinky finger of all things. The initial assumption was, pretty straightforward. It's got to be a Neanderthal, our famous ancient relatives. It seemed like a totally routine find, that is, until they ran the DNA tests.
When those results came back, oh man, they sent absolute shockwaves through the scientific community. This genetic code was something totally new. It wasn't Neanderthal, and it wasn't one of our direct modern human ancestors. So if it wasn't them and it wasn't us, what in the world was it?
They decided to name this new mystery species the Denisovans, after the very cave where that bone, which we now know belonged to a young girl, was found. Just think about that. An entire branch of the human family tree had been completely invisible to us, and it was revealed by just one tiny little bone.
All of a sudden, the story got a lot more crowded. It wasn't just modern humans and Neanderthals on the scene anymore. Nope, there was a third major human species walking the Earth. But trust me, the mystery was just getting started.
And here's where it gets really weird. Even though the Denisovans are gone, their DNA isn't, not by a long shot. When scientists started analyzing modern human populations, they found that people in places like Papua New Guinea and Tibet still carry a clear genetic signature from them.
And we're not talking tiny traces. In some populations, it's as high as 5%. That's huge. And it can only mean one thing. Our ancestors didn't just meet the Denisovans, they had children with them. We are, in a very real way, their descendants. This ghost species is living on, right inside of us.
And this brings us to a huge paradox, a real head-scratcher. We're finding their DNA all over Asia, but their physical remains, they've practically vanished. I mean, we have thousands of Neanderthal fossils, but for Denisovans, we've got a few teeth, a jawbone, and that one tiny finger bone. How can a species leave such a massive genetic footprint, but almost no physical trace?
As we started piecing together the few clues we do have, the picture that emerged was not of some primitive cave dweller. In fact, the evidence suggests the Denisovans may have been far more advanced than us in some pretty incredible ways.
For starters, their skulls were massive, with an estimated brain capacity about 20% larger than ours. Their genes suggest they had much stronger immune systems and, as we'll see, this remarkable ability to adapt to extreme environments. This doesn't sound like a species that was just struggling to survive.
And you want proof of their legacy? Here's a mind-blower. People living on the Tibetan Plateau can thrive in low-oxygen environments thanks to a special gene called EPAS1. It's like a genetic superpower for high-altitude survival. Well, guess what? They didn't evolve it themselves. They inherited it directly from the Denisovans who had already conquered those mountains thousands of years before.
But as incredible as their genetic legacy is, it might not be their most mind-blowing contribution. Among the artifacts found in their cave was this: a stunning bracelet made of green chlorite stone, dated to be up to 70,000 years old.
But you gotta look closer. The most shocking detail is this perfectly drilled hole. To create something so precise would have required a tool rotating at an incredibly high speed. Basically, a drill. This is technology we thought was invented tens of thousands of years later, yet here it is.
This one single artifact challenges everything we thought we knew about the timeline of human innovation. It just forces you to ask, what kind of knowledge did this lost species possess?
And it wasn't a one-off. They also made the world's oldest known sewing needle, which means they were tailoring clothes while our ancestors were still just draping themselves in animal skins. They created intricate beads and ornaments with symbolic-looking patterns, which strongly implies they had a complex, structured language.
So we have this picture of a widespread, highly advanced species with superior genetics and what looks like impossible technology. Which leads us to the biggest question of all. If they were so capable, where did they go?
There are three main theories on the table. The first is competition, that they were simply outmaneuvered by our ancestors. The second is assimilation, that they didn't really disappear but were just absorbed into the modern human gene pool. But there's a third, more dramatic theory that points to a global catastrophe, an event known as the Younger Dryas, that may have caused a worldwide reset.
For now, we just don't have the answer. Their civilization, their technology, their knowledge, it's all gone. All we have left is a ghost story, a hidden chapter of our own past that started with a single bone fragment no bigger than a fingertip.
And this leaves us with a final and honestly a chilling thought. The Denisovans prove that entire chapters of human history can just be erased. So if a species this sophisticated could vanish so completely, what other secrets, what other amazing stories are still buried right beneath our feet?